go home, go hard, go hard, go home, go hard, go home, go hard, go home. Touchdown like the end zone. When the circle turn to my home, can't get me out of my zone. Go hard, go home, go hard, go home. Yeah, these championship rings on my hands now. In my head I'm top 10, yeah, that's hands down. You a squad, know you're looking man down. Funny how foes turn to friends now. Drive a race car like a Atari now. Call filling up, I need product again. Treat the business like a playground, might slide on you. Don't me wrong, might slide on you. Do a backflip, cause I'm mad rich. I'm the definition of what that is. Go hard, go home, go hard, go hard, go home, go hard, go hard, go home. Touchdown like the end zone. When the circle turn to my home, can't get me out of my zone. Go hard, go home, go hard, go home. I'm a warrior, I go back to back, then go back to back. If I top the top, then I double back, and I'm topping that. Yeah, I beat my own records. Yeah, I gotta get money fetish. Same team, I don't set trick. Never dull, this electric. Went and put the Ricks on my toes. Me and bro, that's the give and go. Stay 100, end zone. Keep them coming. I know. I won't flood my wrist, no, I'm not dumb like that. No. I just wanna give my mama 100 racks. Go hard, go home. Go hard, go home. Go hard, go hard, go home. Touchdown like the end zone. When the circle turn to my home, can't get me out of my zone. Go hard, go home, go hard, go home. Filling up, I need product again. Treat the business like a playground, might slide on you. Don't me wrong, might slide on you.
What up? The Bottom Line Sports. Oh, we lost Omar. Time to go hard or go home, baby.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. The Bottom Line Sports. Here we go.
Yeah, man.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Episode 139, almost 140 shows. Appreciate you. My name is Flo. That guy over there, that's Canteen or Can. Omar was down there somewhere. He's gone. And Jake might be here later. This is the crew tonight. Maybe we'll go this way. Nah.
Yeah, that's correct.
All right, let's go.
Get a little background music. Hey, man, I'll tell them, hey, you guys can find us at the Bottom Line Sports Show. All your social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, X, YouTube. Hey, if you're watching us on live, like, tag, and share to everybody. And then if you're not watching live, you catch us on the repeat. And we're also on Spotify when Flo uploads the episodes on Spotify. So if you're riding down the road like me, he ain't did it in a while, but I'll say
I know I need to do it. I need to upload. I'm gonna upload next.
Hey man, occasionally you'll catch me riding down the highway going somewhere, man, and I'll just drop one of our old repeat tracks of one of the old shows, man. But we are the Bottom Line Sports Show, Flo and Canteen. So we're going old school tonight. We're going old school until somebody else pops in.
I mean, somebody else pops in. See if Omar shows up. He was here a second ago. Yeah. I don't know if he's just visiting or. Or Jake said he might come after he gets off of work, but I appreciate you. 1.9K in the Facebook group. Go.
Almost at 2 man.
Also catch us on Let's Talk Sports Network on Sundays. We do the NFL Sunday Surge where we recap all your NFL Sunday action, recap and everything. We're going to recap Sunday night, Monday Night Football here in just a moment, but we do the whole Sunday's action right after and leading right into Sunday Night Football on the Sunday Surge exclusively only on the Let's Talk Sports Network on YouTube, and that's also on Twitch and X. So, all right, let's go. Let's go. Join the conversation. We do that. All right, Canteen, you want to get into this little MLB wild card action?
Yeah, man. So let me
play on Tuesday, and then they play today. So if you want to recap, just a brief recap, we don't got to go through every game, but kind of give us a snapshot of each series and what your thoughts are.
All right. So right now, I know that I currently have one of the games on right now. It's the Brewers. The actual Brewers are playing the Brewers are playing the New York Mets, and they're up 3-1 right now. 3-1 at this point in time. That series is 1-0. So if the Mets win tonight, then the Mets will take that series and they'll move on into the playoffs or what have you. Right now, the Braves, they're at the top of the first. The Braves and the Padres. The Braves are out on the West Coast. The Braves are currently 0-0, and the Padres are leading that series 1-0. Detroit, man, Detroit looked really good before they took out. Well, that's. Are you Astros, right?
I'm a Rangers.
You're a Rangers, so you're a Rangers fan. But the Astros, they actually got swept, man. They lost 2 games, but they lost today 5-2 to the.
Is it a 5? I thought it was best out of 5.
No, 3. Wild card's best out of 3, and then once they move on from the wild card, then they'll go move on to like the best out of 5. So the Tigers, they lost. The Tigers won 5-2 to the Astros. Cool. Okay. And then the Royals they won a 2-game series. They won 2-1. They beat the Orioles. So right now, I'm gonna pull up the Major League Baseball playoff picture right now. If things were to end today or whatever, however we're supposed to look at it, I'm gonna pull up the bracket for us real quick, man.
Okay.
All right. So right now, the winner. So whoever wins between the Brewers and the number 6 seeded Mets and the Brewers, they're gonna move on. They're gonna play the Phillies, and that'll be game 1 on Saturday. The winner between the Padres, which the Padres won yesterday, and the Braves. The Braves need to win today, but if the Braves don't win, the Padres sweep them, then that team they'll play Saturday too, and they'll play against the number 1. So it'll be that seed will play the Dodgers, right?
Right.
And when we look at the American League, the Yankees are the number 1 seed in the American League at this point, Flo. So the winner between, so right now it'll be the Kansas City Royals will end up playing at the Yankees on Saturday, since they swept Detroit. No, it'll be the Kansas City Royals will play the Yankees, right? And then the Guardians, the Cleveland Guardians, their number 2 seed, they'll host the Detroit Tigers, man. So they're moving to the division series, which will start this Saturday.
So who's moving on right now?
So right now, as we speak, the Braves are
Tigers.
still holding. The Tigers are moving on. The Braves are still holding. It depends on who wins.
And the Royals, right?
And the Royals. And it depends on who wins between the 6-seeded New York Mets team and this number 3 Milwaukee team. Whoever wins, if the Mets win tonight, then they're going to move on. They'll be playing the Phillies. They'll be going up to play at Philadelphia on Saturday.
It looks like the Royals are going to be playing the Yankees, and the Tigers are going to play the Guardians on Saturday already, right?
Yep.
So that series starts on Saturday. Game 1 of the AL division, the Tigers and the Guardians, and then the Royals and the Yankees.
Yep. So if the Braves win, and that's good for teams that have already moved on. They're going to catch a day or 2 break. They're going to travel, do whatever they got to do to make it to their other destination. But for me, I'm hoping that the Braves, they look decent, but they're not playing at their best. But if the Braves were to win, the Braves are already on the West Coast. So whoever wins between the Braves and the Padres are already on the West Coast anyway. They're just going to LA next. So
right. Yeah, Rio says is he? I think he's I'm sorry, Rios, if I don't get the right podcast. I think it's fans only or something. He's a podcast guy that we met through some of these other guys. But he was an Astros fan. He was giving me a hard time about the Rangers not making it. But I'm like, man, you're in the same place. You're in your living room.
Yeah, at home. So, baseball.
Yeah, so they home. Yeah, he was giving me a hard time. When do the Rangers play? He was doing your line. When do the Rangers play? I'm like, it don't matter. You at home too. You
hope y'all at home.
Getting booted first round. I'd rather not make the playoffs.
And that's the thing, man. That's the thing that bothers me, man. Like, the Braves really dug themselves in a hole, man, because if the Braves win tonight, they got to play again Thursday night, and then they only get a day break, and they start playing Saturday. So it's hard, man. These wild card games are really, really they're rough,
and to be fair, I mean, I wish the NBA would do something like this instead of doing 7-game series.
Do at least
even 5-game series. I mean,
do a 5-game for like the play-in or something. No, not play-in is just one game, but do something.
Yeah, play-in is one game. I'm saying for the first round.
Like for the first round, kind of scale it back to 5 games, man. And
I like 5 games. Yeah. I think they used to do that back in the 80s. They used to do 5-game series. Omar's here. I don't know if he's gonna pop in, but I'll let him to see. He may be having internet issues, but I've seen him pop in and out a couple times.
Hey, and also, man, we want to send our condolences and prayers to a great baseball player. Pete Rose passed away recently. Great baseball player, man. He got into some little issues with the gambling stuff like that, but he was a phenomenal pioneer for the Major League Baseball, man. So shouts out to him, man. But I mean, Flo, we'll see, man. I hope the Braves win, but right now the Padres look really, really promising for me from the National League, and I'm shocked to see the Mets doing as good as they are right now. So we'll see, man.
Yeah, if they win, they move on. I mean, Omar, I'm sure. I think Omar would be excited if they got to move on.
And they already up one, and they already up 1-0.
Yeah, so. Top of the 4th here at the Mets and the Brewers. So let us know what you think. Who's going to make it? Shout out to Pete Rose. So what do you think? So talking about Pete Rose while we wait on Omar, maybe. So do you think they should have let him back in the baseball?
Here's the thing, Flo. I look at it like this. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody errors, right? You know. Right. But at the end of the day, man, I mean, give the guy another chance. Give him a chance to rebound. Because I mean, I'm looking at some of his stats, man. His batting average was at 303. He hit for over 4,200 hits, 160 home runs. He batted for over 1,300 times, and his winning percentage was at 5.525% or what have you. Had a great career with the Reds, the Phillies, and he was the manager of the Reds. He was an MVP, 7-time All-Star, 3-time World Champion, man, National MVP, World Series MVP, Golden Glove, Slugger.
There's Omar.
Had a phenomenal career, man. So, man, like I said, man, people err, man. People make mistakes, but I think the thing that we as humans and we as sports fanatics and sports players and different things like that, we got to understand that people are going to err, but they grow from their errors and they grow from their mistakes. I mean, I think that he had learned and grew, and I think, man, letting him get into the Hall of Fame would have been a good way for him to end his career and then go out with a bang. But hey, things happen. I
mean, 35 years he was banned. What do you think, Omar, as you're coming in? We were shouting out Pete Rose passing away, and rest in peace. And we were just saying, should they have let him back in before he ended up, passing away? I mean, I think that would have been 30 years should have been enough, maybe 20, 25. I don't know, but your thoughts on that, if they should have let him in, before him back into baseball.
Yeah, gentlemen, first of all, obviously a rest in peace, rest in power to Major League Baseball's hit king, as Ken so astutely pointed out with the statistics, one of the best baseball hitters MLB has ever seen. That being said, whether or not he deserved to be inducted before he passed or not is not truly the question here, because if you were going to induct him, you were going to induct him a long time ago. You're not going to induct him because he dies or because he's about to die. That doesn't happen. That sometimes happens in the Hall of Fame, but it's never done on purpose. So this would not be done either. So for all of you out there that are thinking that something is going to change now that this has happened, it's not. Could it possibly in the future, once the voting block of Major League Baseball's Hall of Fame changes and the younger voters come up and the older voters die out, the older generation goes away, then you could look back in possibly 20, 30 years and have him inducted into the Hall of Fame. Maybe not even that long, maybe 10 years. The older generation of his generation is starting to get to that point anyways. So
So, in question, just you, Omar, as our resident expert, should they have just let him in after 20 years or 30 years and just let him back in? Because there's all this gambling and baseball. I don't know. I'm just saying, sports has gambling now. I'm just
Yeah,
thinking out
sure.
loud. Should they have done it, like sooner and just have it not like come to the end of his life, or it just, after 20 years, that's enough, or 25. That seems like a long time, even though it was a lifetime ban.
Exactly, depending on how you look at the rules and how you look at the judgment and how you look at how baseball was played.
But from your baseball opinion, do you think they should have let him in?
Well, I'll give you the short answer because next week I'm doing a whole segment that I researched out already on this on my mind to the professor. So for now, I will tell you no, he should not be inducted.
Okay. All right. All right.
By the way, I am not on this show for a long time. I'm only here for a good time. Let's go Mets, baby. I got a game to get back to, so I'm only here for a little bit. Let's go.
Okay. What are your thoughts? Do you think your Mets can pull it out and move on to the divisional round?
Not only are they going to pull it out, they are going to win this game. They are going to move forward. And they're going to play the Phillies. And I believe that the Phillies' momentum is so slowed since the break, and the Mets have been one of the best teams in the second half, along with the Padres. I could see both of those, but especially the Mets, moving on to the championship series.
Okay. Who do you like right now? Because the Tigers kind of upset the Astros.
Tigers, same thing.
They upset
the Guardians have been on a slow plateau since the All-Star break, while the Tigers have been on a fast rise. Not to mention, most people don't know this, but the run differential for the Guardians is one of the lowest in history for any division winner. I believe they're in the realm of last year's Chicago Cubs and Texas Rangers, teams that were fringe wild card teams, not a true. Now I said Texas Rangers. I misspoke since obviously they won the World Series. But I was just thinking of wild card teams really quickly. That's not true for them because they won.
Right. So do you give the Royals any chance against the Yankees at all?
I give them a fighter's chance. I give them a puncher's chance. They got good players. Bobby Witt Jr. is one of the best young players. And by the way, this season, let me say, I'm going to do a whole stats thing on my mind to the professor, but this is one of the ones I have that's really good, is Bobby Witt Jr. is the first player in history, and let me make sure I get this correct, more than 50 singles, more than 40 doubles, more than 30 stolen bases, more than 20 triples has ever been, more than 10 triples. Something along those lines, I don't have it in front of me, that has ever been done in Major League Baseball history. You pair that with the vet Salvador Perez, the old Husky Bear, catching back behind and you got a puncher's chance. But honestly, in the first round of the playoffs, we all know it comes down to who has the three best pitchers, because all you need is three pitchers to get to the first round, and the Yankees, in my eyes, have that, because Seth Lugo, who I love as a former Met, is probably their best pitcher. And if that's the case, and you're going up against Garrett Cole, Luis Gil, the rookie that's good there, and anybody else that may come along that they throw in there. So I don't know who's going to – Nestor Cortez or whoever else they choose. So.
Right. Okay. That's fair. Any questions for Omar Ken? He's got limited time.
Nah, man, I think he hit most of the baseball stuff. Like I said, man, we're good with the baseball piece, man.
All right. Anything in your mixed bag? I can introduce it if you got a mixed bag item. There,
I do.
Omar.
Yes.
All right, now it's time for one of our favorites. It's the Professor's Mixed Bag.
Bag. You gotta add the echo. I like that. The echo makes me pop every time. So we said rest in peace to Mr. Pete Rose, the hit king. How about this one? Rest in peace to Dekeme Motombo. Rest in power, baby. We cannot pass this man up. This man not only was one of the greatest defensive basketball players of all time. Yeah, that's right. flow, the finger wagging, your face with a block. But screw all that. That's not what I come to talk about as a humanitarian and philanthropist myself. I love that he cared about the community. He built hospitals and schools and fresh water plants back in Africa to help out all of his people who were less fortunate. So shout out to him for that. We lost a person too early, man. Rest in peace.
Right. Rest in peace. Shout out to Kendi as well. Matumbo, not Matumbo as they used to call him.
Yeah,
Matumbo, that's right. And I know we're going to get into college football today, so I might as well preface it a little bit with we know already the two top conferences, as we thought they would be, are the SEC and the Big Ten, even though they should just be called like the Big Coast now at this point.
Big Coast. The rest Coast, East Coast.
I actually have a better one here. So first of all, there are talks that the Big Ten and SEC is in talks as for a partnership to work together to play games against each other. So here we go. It's the start of the 32-team super conferences, who I'm not going to mention his name because I don't like him anymore. But he mentioned it one day, a former coach of mine mentioned this idea. And it's true. It's in the works, and it is going to happen. So
wow. Okay.
And by then, it should be the All-Coast Conference instead of the Big Coast. Be the All
Coast Conference. Just have two sides, kind of like the AFC NFC is what you're saying. Wow, exactly. Interesting. All right, is that all you got, Professor?
Yep, that's all I got for y'all today.
So that was the Professor's Mixed Bag.
You did mention the winners today from baseball, right? The team.
Yeah, we mentioned. Yeah. Okay, cool. For sure. All right, since you mentioned a little NBA action, you talked about basically mentioned Mutombo passing away, and rest in peace to him. What about the big trade that happened, Cat to the Knicks for Randall DiVincenzo? What about this? Who won this? What do you think, Canteen? Who won this trade? And basically, who won this trade? And what was the better? Who got the better out? Who made out better on this trade? There you go.
Man, the Knicks got a steal, man. Really? Carl Anthony Towns is that dude, and I think he was surrounded by a great cast.
Okay.
Great cast. He was surrounded by a great cast when he was at Minnesota, and had more of an opportunity to win at Minnesota. But I think he has the same opportunity to do just as well or supersede expectations and do just as good in New York.
Okay. Now and not to be left out, I think the Charlotte Hornets got Daquan Jeffries and
Daquan Jeffries, Charlie Brown, Dwayne Washington Jr.
Right. So I mean, we could see if they won. I don't think they won. I'm just like, I don't think we think they won. Yeah. So, so what do you think, Omar? He thinks the Knicks won this trade, but I mean, a lot of people think Carl Anthony Towns is a little soft, and maybe the Timberwolves got the best out of this. Bringing three quality players that could work with Ant-Man. What do you think, Omar? Who won this trade?
I actually think that it is about even, but I give it a slight edge to the Knicks. And I agree with Ken. I believe that Carl Anthony Towns can help unlock another level, running that pick and roll with Jalen Brunson, allowing him to drive the paint, and Cat can hit the three from the outside, obviously as a big man, to stretch the floor. Julius Randle didn't have that in his repertoire. So that kind of brings back to you what you're losing in DiVincenzo, who was a 3-and-D Villanova guy, right? So you're saying you're getting rid of part of the Villanova core, but you're bringing back a player who could unlock another part of your offense, a la the Porzingis to Celtics trade. That being said, going back the other way is not a horrible trade either. You're getting, like you said, three quality, and definitely Julius Randle is a good piece. He's not soft, but he can't hit the three. He's just a point down low, not post perimeter. He shoots the jumper a lot, and he can hit an occasional three. But the point is that you're bringing in pieces that fit better with the Wolves than they thought that they had. Now, in my eyes, personally, I would have never made the Gobert trade in the first place. And I'd have kept Cat and Edwards together. You made the Gobert trade. Now you had to do something. Something wasn't fitting. And so Cat got sacrificed in that deal.
Okay. All right. I'm going to say the Timberwolves get the better deal. I just think Cat, he he tends to disappear in the playoffs to me, and he gets injured a lot off and on his career. So I like the fact that
Julius
Minnesota's getting more pieces to fit in with that man. Who?
Julius Randle.
He's been injured and he hasn't done anything in the playoffs
That's
either.
true, but he's not going to have to be the guy there. He's not going to have to compete to be the guy. I mean, he was the guy until what's his name got there?
Brunson.
Yeah. Right. And then he couldn't fit in, but I think he's going into a new team. He's not the guy. He already knows who the guy there is, so he's going to have to more fit in there. DiVincenzo's get you an outside shot. I just think it's a better. I think they're going to end up being the winners in this trade, but we'll see.
I still think it's a weird fit. They were a weird fit with Gobert coming in. Then they were a weird fit kind of with now. It's just they always make these trades, and I'm not going to down their general manager because he is a man of Spanish descent, and I want to hype up my Latino brothers and sisters. But but these trades he's made and these signings he's done have not panned out. So I'm not going to call you out on air right now, but if your stuff don't start panning out, I'm going to have to air you out.
Okay, so maybe this trade is a hot seat trade. Hey, if this can pan out, I don't know. We'll see. All right. Any more trades? I know the DeRozan trade was kind of a big deal. A 3-team trade. DeRozan to the Kings. Spurs get Harrison Barnes, and the Bulls get Chris Duarte and 2 picks. Plus, San Antonio gets a 2031 first-round swap with Sacramento.
Oh, no, not the 2031.
I know.
7 years from now.
Isn't he I think he's in junior high now, that guy.
Yeah. Not even elementary school. What are we talking about?
Maybe we might be. Oh man! So is this a good move for DeRozan? Or we're just people just moving DeRozan around? I mean, does he make a difference with the Kings? And does Harrison Barnes really help Spurs? And I don't even know much about Chris Duarte.
Man, DeRozan.
What do you think? I mean, he's towards the end of his career, but
you got to win the chip, man.
He ain't gonna win a chip.
He got to get a chip, man. I mean, he played, Toronto and all that.
Well,
he's bounced around a little bit, man.
Right. He could be a piece there.
And I'm not saying he's at the end of his road, man, but I mean, we're the NBA, NFL, everything's about winning championships, man. So, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they were injured. I mean, De'Aaron Fox got injured.
No.
What?
We should have never broken up the Raptors. We had Kawhi Leonard and DeMar DeRozan. They were on the precipice of a championship. They got rid of DeRozan, which was horrible because they were really good friends and they liked playing together and they made a great duo. Kawhi went on a championship. Then they had to break them up anyways. So now they don't have DeRozan, who they could have helped to be the leader after Kawhi left and maybe win another championship. Instead, they blew it all up. DeRozan moves around to every team like he's a number one, but we all know he's not a number one. He's a number two at best. Unless he has a number one with him that's better, he's not going to win a championship.
Well, Fox could be the number one there in Sacramento.
He's a number two to me too, but he's better. He's
really
better. But, I mean, he's borderline 1 and 2. He's borderline 1 and 2. He's borderline.
Okay.
He's a good point scorer. He can throw. He can put some buckets in very quickly. That's not lying. No, you know what? You know what? I will. But I mean, I guess who do you say? Yeah, you know what? I will. He is a number one.
Okay, I was gonna say you don't think.
I do.
Think he's number one. Okay.
I still don't think the two of them together are enough to win a championship.
Yeah, you might be right. And of course, the one trade that Klay Thompson to the Mavericks, we never really talked about too much, but that was a while back.
Yeah, we did.
We did.
Okay,
maybe I wasn't
skipped the episode. You had to go be somewhere. I don't know what you were doing, but we talked about it. It's a great fit for the Mavericks.
Was it a great fit for you? Okay.
Great fit. Love it. It's gonna. It might be the piece that unlocks their championship.
Really? Wow. Okay, that's fair. All right. Any other NBA stuff you guys want to hit?
You didn't even ask Canteen what he thought.
About what? I asked him about DeRozan.
About DeRozan.
No, the other trade. One we just talked about, the Klay to Dallas.
Well, you said y'all talked about it. I didn't want to belabor the point.
I wasn't speaking for him.
Oh yeah,
Klay Thompson. Do you think he's a good fit there?
Nah, man. But to me,
yeah, I wasn't speaking for him.
So they're breaking up the regime, man. I don't think Golden State. We'll see what they have to win a championship. I mean, Klay Thompson was the major piece in Golden State to me. Him, right. Steph, what's the name when he ain't doing stupid stuff?
A major piece.
Yeah, major piece. But he ain't the major piece, but he's he has a role in what they've done there. But right. Man, Golden State, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Green, right?
Yeah, Green, man. But if Green keeps a cool head and he does what he's supposed to do, then they got a chance to win. But like I said, out of the West, man, you still got to think about Phoenix. So you still got to think about Denver, all those other power.
The West is really deep. Don't you think the West is still deeper than the East as far as quality teams? So it's gonna be tough.
I say they're about even now. It was the West.
Oh, they're about even now.
I say they're almost even now. Yeah.
Almost even. Okay, that's fair. All right. Any other NBA stuff?
Let's go Celtics, running it back for back-to-back.
They're not winning back-to-back.
Baby.
They're not winning back-to-back, Omar. Too bad. I'm sorry. They're not winning.
They have a strong possibility to do it.
Lakers.
What?
I think it was Lakers.
They got to prove. Man, who do you think go up against them besides Milwaukee?
That's a long time ago.
Besides Milwaukee, Flo.
Milwaukee?
Do not say the Heat. Don't say the Heat, man.
Well, I mean, we know Jake would say the Heat. We already know that. But
what did I do? Oh, I put San Antonio out of my mind. Did I? Okay.
I think New York could give them a game. I mean, like I said, I kind of downplayed the Cat, but they're a tough, gritty team. I like New York. I think Philly could do it, maybe.
Yeah, okay, Philly. Yeah, I give you Philly. I'm scared of Philly. I'm scared of Joel. If Joel can stay healthy, I like the Spanish flair on his name. If Joel can stay healthy, Embiid, if you're nasty, if he can stay healthy, I think that would be interesting, especially trading for Paul George, which is another trade we didn't talk about. But I think that's a great trade as well, just like the Klay Thompson, that again could possibly unlock a championship.
Okay. Yeah, I think New York or Philly could give them a run for their money. The Celtics, I think that could be the two teams that could give them, boot them out or, however you want to say it. All right, let's go to some college football. Last week, any game? So I think I picked Kansas State. You guys picked Oklahoma State. Kansas State.
I did pick
somewhat of a blowout. I like that quarterback for Kansas State. I thought they played well at home and they had a better defense. Your thoughts on this on Kansas State, and are they one of the teams out of the Big 12 could make this playoffs? What do you think, Cam?
All right, let me hit those numbers real quick, man. At Kansas State, so it was the total was 20-42. Man, Kansas State looked pretty good, but man, Bowman, he went 26 for 50, threw for 364 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Gordon, I can't pronounce his first name or whatever, but he's a really, really good running back, man. The kid from Ohio State.
Yeah, Ollie Gordon III.
Ollie Gordon, yeah. 15 carries and 76 yards. And Stribling had 7 receptions, 157 yards, 1 touchdown. But Johnson,
what was the name you missed? Never mind. Go ahead.
Who's Stribling?
No, you go ahead.
Stribling.
Yeah.
All right,
Mr. Stribling.
Stribling.
It's such a pleasure to see you today, Mr. Stribling.
And then Johnson, man, went 19 for 31. He threw for 259 yards. He threw for 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Giddens, 15 carries, 187 yards, 1 touchdown. And then lastly, we have Brown, 4 receptions, 78 yards, 1 touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
And Kansas State looks promising, man. They look really good, man. The only reason I picked Oklahoma State was because I like the guy, their coach with the mullet. I don't know his name, but it's just the old school coaching and the mullet, man. That's the only reason.
Mike Gundy.
Mike Gundy?
Yeah, that's the only reason I picked Oklahoma State.
I'm 40, damn it.
I'm a grown man.
Yeah.
Although he's like 50 now.
Yeah, that's the only guy. That's
10 years ago. What do you think? Kansas State guy can make a run to this playoffs? They look pretty good right now.
At 4-0, they've had a very good start. Something that was not entirely expected, especially in the Big 12, where we weren't sure which teams were going to be really good and which teams maybe weren't. Even Colorado has been a really big surprise to most people. Maybe not the savvy ones. But anyways, Ollie Gordon. I love Ollie Gordon, but he can't.
Mm-hmm.
He can't carry.
Calling yourself. You just called Jake savvy.
Jake.
So.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna take credit for it, but I was like, I'm not gonna do that to Jake since he's not here. I'll let him do it. But anyways, Oklahoma State, Ollie Gordon can't carry everything. Yeah, Bowman's had a good year so far. Stribling's having a good year thus far, but he's really carrying the team, and it's not going to get it done. Kansas State, man, we'll see what happens. They're battling with Colorado right now.
Yeah,
and it's Alan Bowman. I don't know who was calling him Alex or something else, but it's Alan Bowman.
I mean, it wasn't me. I'm not even going to try if I don't know. I'm not going to say I don't know how to pronounce his name when it's Ollie.
But you were calling him.
No, the only thing was Ken just didn't know because he saw the O in the period. And he wasn't sure. So he's like, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Ollie.
All right.
You know how to pronounce Ollie?
Ollie.
I love Ken.
Well, BYU is undefeated. I mean, are they kind of a paper tiger, or you think they can make a run here in the Big 12 as well? They're 5-0. BYU in the Big 12. I mean, we're talking about Kansas State now. Obviously, they're pretty good. I mean, they haven't played.
BYU, they're playing on a fluke, man. They
really? Nobody. They ain't played nobody.
Man, they play decent, man. I don't foresee them. They may make the playoff or something like that, but I don't foresee.
I mean, they beat Kansas State, the team you were hyping up.
No, I know. I was Oklahoma State.
Huh?
I was going for Oklahoma State.
But I'm saying BYU beat Kansas State, the team you guys were saying can make a run. Why couldn't BYU do the same? They actually blew out Kansas State 38-9.
All right, man. So let me pull up something, Flo. Right now, BYU's only played SMU. Let me pull up that schedule. Let me make sure I'm correct before I say anything crazy. Okay, they beat Sam Houston. They're supposed to beat. Oh man, they. No. Let me go.
You're looking at the wrong team.
I'm looking at. I gotta pull it up, man. So they beat SMU. They barely beat SMU. They beat Wyoming. They blew out Kansas State. They blew out Kansas State. So hey, I can't jump the gun on that. And then they beat Baylor. Then they got Arizona this week.
Right.
They got Arizona this week.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, they can make a run.
They definitely have a chance. They're 5-0 for the third time in 5 seasons. After reaching that mark only 2 other times in 2001 and 2008. That was since their undefeated 1984 championship season, which was obviously a long time ago, but obviously very big in their history. But I do think the Canteen is, even though he was not correct about them not necessarily playing anybody, because they have played a couple teams, he is headed in the right direction. They were 2-7 in the Big 12 play last year, and they've only played 2 teams thus far, so they could easily start to a losing streak in that Big 12 to plummet. But you could easily see them winning out and making the playoffs as well. So,
okay.
What do I think personally? I think they lose a few games along the way. That's what I think personally.
Right.
And I think Arizona, Oklahoma State may be. I mean, the team in that
they got a tougher schedule coming up, right, Ken?
Yeah, right. Yeah, Central Florida, Utah.
What about my Red Raiders? They're 4-1.
I saw that. I was watching a little bit of the game.
Yeah.
Texas,
I think they're coming into their own. Mike
Elko is actually doing a really good job as coach out there from Duke. But I don't know how much stink did your boy Jimbo leave on your wait,
Jimbo.
That was A&M. Sorry, that was A&M. I got A&M and Texas Tech mixed up for a second. My bad. My bad.
Joey McGuire's the coach out there, by the way.
My bad. I'm thinking about my Mets. Yeah. Let's go Mets.
Yeah. Baron Morton looks pretty good. Taj Brooks is a solid running back. Came back for his senior year to make a run. They got some solid receivers. And they got some good tight ends that they use from time to time. Coy Aiken is having a great season. We do have Micah Hudson, who's a 4-star receiver that came in. But he hasn't seen a lot of action. I guess he's trying to adjust to the offense and stuff. But, I mean, I think they're finally coming into their own, and their defense looks pretty good. Their defense finally looks like they're able to stop people. Bend, not break type of defense.
Right.
But I think we can make a run. That Colorado Texas Tech game might be a big game. Might be a big game. It might, if they keep winning, they both keep winning.
I agree.
Right, Ken? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I mean,
okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, man. You good?
No, I was just gonna move on. But if you're gonna say something,
nah, man.
The game of the weekend.
The game that really got me, man. And
I know
Auburn.
Ken don't like to avoid or bury the lead. I know Ken at least is a man who likes to face his consequences like a man, unlike someone up in the upper left-hand corner.
I show up every time. You're talking about Jake, who's not here currently.
I didn't say you didn't show up. I said you didn't take credit. You don't take accountability every time.
I did take accountability. What are you talking about?
Hey,
What
go
are you
ahead, Flo.
talking about?
Go ahead, Ken. Go ahead, Ken. What happened to your team? What happened to your team, baby?
No, all right. So I'll hit the Georgia-Alabama game. The Georgia-Alabama game, I thought
go ahead, Ken.
Georgia had got stomped out. They were getting beat, pounded, really, really good before halftime. But I will say this right here. Georgia, their credit. Georgia came back, and they put the game within 7 points.
Why throw me off?
They put the game within 7 points. Let me hit the stats, guys. Carson Beck went 27 for 50. He threw.
Let's go, Padres!
Yards.
Let's go, Padres! Take the 3-1 lead over Ken's Braves, baby. Let's go. My bad, Ken. Good.
Carson Beck, 27 for 50, 439 yards. He threw 3 interceptions and threw for 3 touchdowns. I got to give Carson Beck his props. I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name. I'm not going to even. Etienne. I think I got it right.
You got it right that time.
Yeah, you got it. Good job.
12 carries, 55 yards, 1 touchdown, and our receiver Smith, 6 receptions, 132 yards, 1 touchdown. Milroy.
No,
hold on. Let's go back a second.
He was going to mess up the name. He knew he was going to mess it up. Omar.
No. I got to go back for a second because, wait a second. What would you call his older brother who plays for the Jaguars? What would you call Travis or Trevor?
Etienne.
Well, how would you say it? Okay, so why are you looking at his brother acting like you don't know how to pronounce his name?
Etienne. Etienne.
I was like, wait a second. He has an older brother who used to play against you all the time. What are you talking about? Anyways, I'm just.
But Milroy, 27 for 33, 374 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He also carried the ball 16 times, 117 yards, 2 touchdowns, and Williams 6 receptions, 177 yards, 1 touchdown. Here's the thing about Alabama, man. Alabama performed well, but I like the dog and I like the fight in Georgia. The Georgia Bulldogs did not give up. They came back and they put the game within 7 points. Here's the issue with Georgia. Here's the issue that I foresee with Georgia. Ever since Todd Monken left, the Georgia offense has struggled. Mike Bobo is not a phenomenal play caller at all. You can see that at the beginning of that Georgia game. They struggled. They
he's
had
a Bobo.
What Omar said, he's a Bobo. So here's what I'm saying. I believe that Georgia's going to have a tough time playing Texas. But if we can make it to the SEC championship, I think we still got a dog in the fight. We make it to the SEC championship. And now there won't be any speculation because we got the big time playoff with more teams. There won't be any speculation if an undefeated team or whatever happens and somebody gets booted out.
Right.
Well, there's not going to be any speculation at all because both of these teams are going to make it. Ken, you should not be down on your team at all. I called this victory for Alabama. I called Jalen Milroy having a Heisman season. I called Alabama being in the playoffs and Georgia being in the top 4. I'm not worried about Georgia. They're going to be fine. They only lost by 7 points to one of the other best teams in the country. Both teams are going to the playoffs. Do not worry about it.
Yep. And that's how I feel about it, man.
But, I mean, Beck did not have a good game. I mean, he was having a really bad game.
I mean, who cares? It's not about the quarterback in Georgia, nor has it ever been.
I'm just saying. I mean, but their defense is not what it used to be either.
Yeah,
all they need is a game manager. That's all they need.
Yeah, man. And I would say Carson Beck is a great game manager. Now, here's the question that we got, guys. I know they've had a lot of talks about him and Shedeur Sanders. Who's going to come off the board first? Because right now, when we look
that's not even a question to me. That's not even a question. You can't tell me that one's skills are not way superior to the others. Now, they may be a little more raw, but you can't tell me those skills are not. Come on now. Carson Beck may be a more polished and ready pro passer at this point, but I don't even think that's true, to be honest. Than Shedeur.
I think Milroe's better than Shedeur.
I didn't know. I thought we were. I'm sorry. I thought we were just talking about Shedeur.
I'll take Milroe over Shedeur.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I told y'all last year Milroe was going to be a Heisman finalist this year.
Okay,
so it's not a mistake.
fair.
Like he hasn't been showing this potential. He just had a tough first year with Nick Saban's system. That's all.
Right. Okay. That's fair.
And I love, by the way, how the professor has just shown himself to continually be right time after time and time and time and time again on this show.
I like how you just point out when you're right.
I point out when I'm wrong, and I accept my wrong every time. So
you said time and time like there was no little hiccups in there. Yeah.
Get out of here with that.
Yeah, get out of here with that.
Oh, keep moving. I got a game flow. Let's go.
All right. Any other games we want to talk about this weekend? I mean, last weekend.
No, I just want to caveat on the point. I know we haven't talked to Allen in quite some time, but Allen was kind of deprived and beat down because his Oklahoma Sooners were losing to Auburn, but Auburn ended up losing that game. And Hawkins that plays QB for Oklahoma, he's pretty good. So shouts out to Oklahoma. They actually beat Auburn, but now, like I said, man, as we've always said all along, man, there's so much football to be played. Colorado keeps finding a way to win. They're 4-1. Shedeur Sanders, his arm, their passing game is the thing that's keeping them and winning. Their offensive line is not as good, but he's able to throw the ball deep. Their run game is not as good, but for some strange reason, Colorado finds a way to win. And I thought UCF was going to give them a run for their money, but they didn't.
Yeah. Well, UCF was a little overrated. It was a little overrated.
Give them a run for their money.
Yeah, they were a little overrated, but they'll play They'll play some tough games. I think Colorado. We'll wait and see. Baylor was not a great team, and Baylor took them to overtime.
Yeah,
so that's something. But they're going to play Kansas State next. That'll be a real test to see if Colorado's for real.
Yeah. They got Kansas State next weekend.
And they got Arizona, Cincinnati, and then Texas Tech, and then Utah. So they're going to get tested here with some pretty decent teams, and we'll see if Colorado's for real. But speaking of like draft picks and who's the best quarterback, what about Cam Ward? He looks from University of Miami. He looked pretty good. Could he make a run at a Heisman or being one of those top quarterbacks taken? He's having a really good year.
He looked really, really good. They played Virginia Tech, and let me hit something real quick, man. How he looked, 24 for 38, man. He threw for over 340 yards.
He's looked pretty
good. 4
good.
touchdowns, and then he had 2 interceptions. So, I mean, right now Miami's number 7. I think the rankings may change, but they're 5-0, man.
Right.
And for me right now, they look like the front runner that's coming out of the ACC.
Right.
The only tough time that they're going to have against a team in the ACC will probably be against Louisville. Louisville looks really, really promising.
And to be fair, Duke looked pretty good. Duke has looked pretty decent this year too. But that'll be another kind of a test. So is it kind of a wait and see with Cam Ward, and see what he does in the playoffs before we lift him up into a high draft pick?
Don't throw him out there. Don't throw him out there just yet, but give him some time.
Okay.
So here's my thing, man. When we look at the polls,
once Canteen's done, you can go.
When we look at the polls and how they voted, man, I have no objections that Alabama's number 1. Alabama should be 1. Texas is where they are. Ohio State. I think Tennessee's gonna upset some people, man. Tennessee's on the verge of upsetting somebody. It may be Georgia, and I'm an honest broker. Georgia's my team,
right?
But Tennessee's
playing really good on offense, especially
because Tennessee, they beat somebody. Was it UC? They beat somebody they beat Oklahoma. That's who they beat. They beat Oklahoma on College game day out in
right,
and they whooped them. So Tennessee's up and promising. I like Georgia. Georgia should have a great week this week. We got homecoming. Georgia should beat Auburn, and I think that Georgia has Auburn. Then we have a game on the 12th, and then on the 19th we march into Texas. That's going to be a very, very.
That was kind of a revenge game because Josh Heupel used to be a quarterback at OU, so that was kind of a revenge game for him. But yeah, Tennessee's look good. Josh Heupel, the head coach, has them looking really good. Tennessee, if they beat Alabama and Georgia, they could end up in the top 4.
They could end up in the top 4. I mean, Oregon and Dan Lanning, they look good. I like James Franklin and Penn State, but like I said, Crystal Ball, man. Crystal Ball in Miami, they're right where they need to be. And To top out the top 10, you got Missouri, and then you got Michigan, man. So, hey guys, a lot of good football left, man. We're like about halfway through the season. So, yeah.
Yeah, let us know what you think. You can catch us also on Facebook and YouTube. I see we got about 23 on the live. Appreciate everybody. Make sure you like, share, go subscribe. And
Bottom Line Sports.
What do you think, Omar, about Cam Ward? And then we were talking about Tennessee. Give us your thoughts on those subjects that we were talking about.
So shout out to two quarterbacks. One, obviously, the aforementioned Cam Ward. This is what happens, gentlemen, when you play college football for a long time.
That's fair.
You'll get really good at the game. And you know what? It's going to prepare him the best for the NFL next year, like a Jaden Daniels, who played 5 or 6 years. Because
Michael
Cam
Penix.
Ward is now, or Michael
Penix.
Michael, don't call me Penix. It's Penix.
Don't call me Penix.
Junior.
Penix.
There you go. Good job, Ken.
Penix
and Cam Ward, they all share one thing. They've played at least 4 years. Cam Ward is now on his 5th year playing with Miami. So, hey, props to y'all for staying in college, not only getting an education, but also improving your game to the point where you come in as an NFL-ready quarterback and you're a Heisman at some point instead of jumping out early and maybe flailing out. That being said, shout out to the young guy in Knoxville down with the Volunteers of UT, Mr. Nico Iamaya-Villa, who is the quarterback down there and balling. And you're right, the Volunteers are in the hunt and they love it here in Tennessee. That being said, my UCLA Bruins suck really bad, but the only reason I brought them up is because they signed the younger Iamaya-Villa Madden, who is one of the top quarterbacks. So let's go, UCLA Bruins. A clap.
UCLA Blue. I'll give him a little clap.
Yeah, we suck. Shout out to Sean Foster. Ride it, baby. Just ride the ship through. It's going to be a tough year. We might even
ride
go.
The ship, baby.
We might only have 1 win, 2 wins, but that's okay.
Right. Okay. All right. So, what was the Sunday night football game? I'm trying to remember. Is it the Bills and the Ravens?
Bills Ravens.
Yeah.
That was the Sunday night football, right?
No, Sunday night game. Yeah, Bills Ravens.
Yeah, Bills and Ravens. So let's talk about that game. Supposed to be the game of the year, not so much, but they get blown out by the Ravens. Is this? Everybody was touting the Bills. Is the Bills doing Bills things again? What do you think, Ken, about this game? Do you think this does this expose the Bills, or it's just the Ravens just had a great game and it's just, they move on and go to whoever's next on the Bills schedule?
All right, man. So when we look at this game, and I'm gonna hit the numbers real quick, Flo.
Okay.
This was a much needed win for the Ravens, man. As we had already said, the Ravens had already lost to the Raiders. They lost to the Raiders, right?
Right. They lost
to the Chiefs. They beat the Cowboys.
The Cowboys almost came back on them too.
Right. And
it was close.
And so this was a much needed home win for those guys, man. When you look, they beat them 35-10, but Lamar Jackson, he didn't perform at his best, but he went 13 for 18, threw for 156 yards, 2 touchdowns. Derrick Henry carried the bulk of that organization, man. 24 carries, 199 yards, and 1 touchdown. And then Hill, the receiver, 6 receptions, 78 yards, 1 touchdown. Just a wake-up call for the Bills. When you look at the Bills will be fine, man. When you look at right now, when you look at the AFC, at their conference right now, Miami, they lost to a broken up Will Levis and wasn't even Will Levis. I think they brought in a 3rd-string quarterback. So they had Huntley played for Miami, but then Will Levis was playing for Tennessee, but they brought in another quarterback for Will Levis. But Miami's not doing really high. The Patriots are so, but then the team that you really have to worry about, the Jets. But I don't know if the Jets are really promising. But right now, the Bills are still in the driver's seat for that division. So it was just a wake up call for them. But then they got their hands full Sunday. They got to go to Texas. They play the Texans on Sunday, and I don't really know about them beating the Texans, man.
Okay. Yeah. What do you think? Did the Bills get exposed? Because we know that Jake, I don't know, you probably didn't hear him, but he said that this was a more of a must win for the Bills than it was for the Ravens.
I'm looking for. I'm so exasperated because I can't find my horn, and I really just need to toot my own my own horn because I said run the damn ball with Derrick Henry, and you start.
I think we all
running
said
the
that.
ball. No, I was the one that was harping on it all year.
I harped on it too.
Okay, I was the biggest proponent. Anyways, it doesn't matter.
Okay,
good for
fine.
You and good for me. Doesn't matter. It's a wake-up call for the Bills. As Canteen said, both teams are going to be fine. Baltimore is still my Super Bowl contender for the AFC.
So, will they continue to do this though?
Yeah, I just said
I'll sound the alarm for you.
I just said they're still my Super Bowl pick.
Okay.
You think I'm lying? I don't lie. No lies spew out this mouth.
No lies here.
Here's what we got though, Flo. You know, the Ravens, they got the Bengals on Sunday, Commanders, the Bucks, Browns. I mean, their schedule up until Thanksgiving looks pretty promising. So I don't see any issues with them. But then the thing you got to think about in that division,
right?
You got Mike Tomlin and those Pittsburgh Steelers are top of that division.
Right. Okay.
They're top of that division.
Right.
The Bengals are in last place, and then Ravens are in like second or third or something like that. So.
Right. And you mentioned the Titans and the Dolphins. I mean, that was kind of a nothing game. The Titans really aren't going anywhere, we don't think. And then the Dolphins obviously lost Tua.
Yeah.
Any thoughts? I guess the biggest thoughts on that game, Canteen, if you want to, you can talk about the stats a little bit, but the biggest thoughts on that game is that there's rumors now that they could trade Tyreek. You know, if the season is lost without Tua, could they possibly trade Tyreek, and where might he be a good spot for him to go?
Man, 31-12. They allowed the Titans to put up 31 points, which is crazy. But then the Titans ended up having Mason Rudolph.
Which is crazy, right?
Mason Rudolph, 9 for 17, 85 yards passing.
They found their quarterback.
Pollard went 22 carries, 88 yards, and one touchdown. And DeAndre Hopkins had a horrible game, only 2 receptions for 31 yards. But Tyler Huntley was their passing leader with 14. He passed for 14 out of 22, 96 yards. He rushed for 8 carries, 40 yards, 1 touchdown, and Jalen Waddle 4 receptions and 36 yards. This was really a sloppy game, man. The elements were really bad on Monday night, man. But what I will say is that was a much-needed win by Tennessee, man. Tennessee, they played really good. They won that game. Tyreek Hill, man, I really don't know where he would go, man. I don't know. I thought that Miami was the place that would complete him. I mean, he's a great fit, but
without Tua, I mean, the season's lost. I mean, they really didn't have a quarterback.
The season's gone, man. So I really don't know. Here's one thing I want to share with you about this game, man. We were talking about I was listening to Nightcap last night, and I was hearing Deion Sanders and Shannon Sharp and Ocho. They were talking about that what if Miami decides to tank the season? Miami tanks the season. They have a really horrible record. And then you got to look at the staff with Miami. You know, are they going to retain Tua? Are they going to bring Tua back? Are they going to say part ways with him to kind of null and void his contract and say, hey, man, go ahead and retire? Deion Sanders, they were making a proposition that if Shedeur is one of the first QBs to come off the board, they thought that he would end up in Miami. Here's another proposition. They also talked about
because they're talking about Tua coming back week 8, which would. I mean, they could potentially lose 2 more games by then, and they would be basically 2-5.
Yeah,
is the season over at that point? Then you think?
I think they're toast, man. I mean, I think they're toast. They're not gonna even beat the Patriots on Sunday, bro. They're gonna beat the Patriots. They got the Patriots, Colts, Cardinals, Bills, Rams. Like they may not win a game in the next 5 games. So as Deion Sanders and them, they insinuated that if they tank the season, they felt as if Shedeur would be a great fit for Miami. They said the same thing with Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter comes off the board right now. Jacksonville Jaguars are 0-4 and 1 game.
Right.
So what Deion and what they were insinuating on Nightcap, that both of those guys will end up being in Florida on 2 different teams.
Okay.
From last
Omar,
night.
your thoughts? The biggest thing on this game, with the Titans and the Dolphins, it came out that the Titans found their quarterback. And just kidding. And the fact that should they even bring Tua back, and if the season's gone, there's possibility of trading Tyreek. Where would he go? Is that a possibility?
Putting on, since they call me the professor for many different reasons, putting on my GM cap here, I am trading either Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle, whichever, if maybe not both of them. I'm not playing Tua the rest of the season for strictly personal issues
Health
that
reasons?
I would have as an owner playing him. No. Me personally, I'm not in the crowd of people who want him to stop playing. If he wants to keep playing, let him play.
Right.
He already got his money. I mean, okay, he has brain damage like Brett Favre in the future. Okay, he still got a bunch of money and lived his life and had to give the rest to his family.
Okay.
I mean, hey, it's a sacrifice. We know what we're getting into when we play this game. But me personally, if I was the owner of the GM, I'd tell his ass to sit down and wait till next year, and we'll bring you back next year and try again. But then you would have to keep one of the receivers. If you do plan on letting him go completely and starting completely over and drafting someone out of the draft, then first of all, you're going to get insurance money. They took out an insurance policy on him when they signed that contract, so they'll get money back on that. And they can either use that to keep one of the receivers to pair with the new rookie quarterback, or again, you just trade both, get a bunch of picks and draft everybody new around.
Okay. But do you think they will let him play if he wants to play week 8, even if let's say they're 1-7?
If he wants to play, I'm sure they will let him
1-6.
Again, if they're 1, I mean, again,
if they're 1-6, 2-5,
I wouldn't let him anyways, even if they were 3.
I know you wouldn't, but what do you think the team would do if, hey, I want to play, and they're like, no, you shouldn't play? Would they feel like they need to let him play?
I think they would say the exact same thing probably most of us would say, that we don't feel comfortable with it, but it's your life and you're going to do what you want to do. And technically, he's under contract. I mean, we could keep him out, but I mean, if he wants to play, he's going to ask for a trade and go play somewhere else anyways. And then if he has an amazing career and you look stupid, well, I mean, that's on you.
Okay. All right, so the Seahawks and the Lions also played. Lions kind of blew them out a little bit. I think you're the one that took the Seahawks, Ken. Your thoughts on this game? They're both 3-1 now. Thoughts on the game and status of these teams, that kind of thing.
All right, man. Geno Smith went 38-56, threw for 395 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Ken Walker, 12 receptions, 80 yards. He scored 3 touchdowns. Very good game for him. Metcalf had 7 receptions and 104 yards. We've talked a lot about Goff, man. Goff went 18 for 18.
Right.
200, threw for almost 300 yards, 292 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jameer Gibbs, 14 carries, 78 receptions, 2 touchdowns. And Williams, 2 receptions, 80 yards, 1 touchdown. Not a bad performance by Seattle, man. I have a lot of faith in Seattle with Geno Smith. I don't think I'm not going to count Seattle out, but it was a very, very good win by Detroit. More needed for Detroit at home in front of their home front. The season is still young, man. A lot more football left. When we look at the NFC West, though, NFC West right now, Seahawks are still number 1 in that division. The Cardinals and Rams are both 1-3, and the 49ers are 2-2. So the Seahawks are the power horse in that division. And then when we look at the NFC North, Vikings are the only undefeated. They're undefeated 4-0. Lions are 3-1. Bears 2-2, and the Packers are 2-2. Still a lot of good football guys, but I need to see I need to see the Vikings as the season progresses. And I know they talked about Sam Bradford. Darnold. My bad, Darnold.
Yeah.
In
Darnold.
MVP talks.
I mean,
right now, it's been good.
Right now.
But
I'm not saying he can keep this up.
What are we talking about?
Wait a minute. He's definitely on pumpkin watch.
Who the deuce was the credible source? Credible, I say with air quotes, that said that. That's ridiculous. We've seen Sam Darnold year in and year out prove who the hell Sam Darnold is.
He has the best stats right now.
An MVP now, like Cinderella and a damn pumpkin. Get out of here.
But he has the best stats of any quarterback currently in the NFL.
It's 4 games. It's 1 quarter of the season. All right, calm down. Everybody, just calm down.
I think he's
As
got a
one
shot. I
NFC
don't say
North
MVP,
quarterback
but
said, relax.
so you're saying they don't even have a shot at the playoffs?
I mean, they have a shot at the playoffs because they're 4-0. Of course, they have a shot at the playoffs.
Okay.
But do I believe they will flame out miserably and end up like 7-10 or 8-9? Yes, I do, because that's what the Vikings.
So let's talk about Minnesota real quick. So are they more likely to end up 7-10 or 10-7?
More likely 7-10. That's an easy one.
Okay. How about 9-6?
I mean, I'd have to look at their schedule. You're getting a little.
Who you said, Minnesota?
Is Minnesota more likely? We'll just leave it there,
schedule.
Omar, because you're kind of. But we'll just leave it there, Ken. What do you think? Are the Minnesota more likely to go 7-10 or 10-7 at this point?
Looking at their schedule right now.
Yeah.
Well, if we're gonna look at their schedule,
Maybe, let's not examine the whole schedule, Ken. Just real quick. Don't call out every game.
Man, I'll say they'll win at least 11 games.
Whoa!
What?
Wow!
Okay,
Really?
No, hold on. Now
Wow.
I'm going to look at their schedule. What is happening?
So now you're saying they're
win
more
11 games, man.
really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah. 11 games.
Woo!
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna let Omar examine it, but from my
Hold that.
Wait. He can say that. That's his opinion, Omar. He can say
11
that.
games.
He can say whatever he wants. I didn't say he couldn't say anything.
I'll say 11. I'll give him 11 games.
I'm saying he can say that.
But he could. But he
Nathan
could have
is one.
listed it out instead of making me look for it. Could have already just listed
Yeah,
it
he
out.
could just
Don't worry.
list it
I got
out.
it now, kid.
All right, so they
I
got
got
the
it now,
Jets
kid.
Sunday. They got the
Right
Jets
now.
Sunday.
Alright.
That's a win.
That's a loss. That's a loss.
All right.
Wow.
The
Wait,
Lions,
where's it at?
The Lions.
Where's it at? Jets where?
It's
At
in
Jets?
London.
It's in
New
London.
York?
It's overseas, international.
In London. The London
Oh,
game.
it's in London. You got old man Rogers over there. A long plane ride, bad knee.
Yeah.
Vikings got that game, man.
That's
think
tough.
so.
That's a tough one. Maybe. Okay, maybe. Yeah, sure. Lost to the Lions. Lost to the
Okay.
Rams.
No.
Lost to the Colts.
No.
Lost to the
Possible
Colts?
loss to the Jaguars.
Oh
mean,
my
maybe.
gosh!
You never know.
Are you serious?
Come on,
Okay,
man.
maybe I'm just being a little low on them right now. Jaguars winnable game. Titans winnable game. Bears divisional
Winnable
game going
game.
to be hard. Cardinals have been playing over their head this year. Let's not get that twisted. Like that's an easy game for the Vikings. Could be a loss.
Okay.
Falcons loss. Kansas Falcons,
They're-
by the way, may I point out that's a loss.
Nah, the
Bears,
Falcons-
they're gonna lose.
The Falcons will lose a game like that. The Falcons will lose
Well,
to a team like that.
Okay, well they're gonna lose to the Bears at least once. They're gonna lose to the Packers at least once. They're gonna lose to the Lions
So they-
twice. Probably the
just-
Packers twice.
The
The Seahawks
the Lions
will lose
twice?
at the end of the season. I do believe they will lose to the Lions twice. I do. Yeah, I got them
So
going
that's-
7-10 somewhere around there without any math.
Even starting 4-0, you have them 7-10.
I don't know the specific
Wow.
flow. I just went through and gave you like 7 losses. So
Right.
let's
Okay.
say they go 8-9 and miss the playoffs. How about that?
Okay. That's fair. All right.
Why you need the minutia? Like I got to give you the
I
exact.
don't know.
game.
I just it
I'm
just
trying
popped
to
in
be
my
can
head.
and go through the whole schedule.
So the Seahawks and the Lions are who do you feel better about? Even though the Seahawks lost, they're still 3-1. Who do you feel better about, Ken, on the rest of the season?
I gotta go Lions, man. I'd be much more comfortable with the Lions, but the Lions haven't really shown me much in the playoffs. But then
Okay.
you gotta look at the NFC West.
Right.
Are the 49ers who we thought are the 49ers who we think they're gonna be?
Right.
The Rams on the downhill slide. And then the Cardinals are kind of wishy-washy. So I think between that division right now out of the NFC West, I'll say Cardinals and the Seahawks may win that. Between those two, win that division. Because I don't really know what the 49ers are going to do at this point.
So you're putting the 49ers out of the not winning that division.
It's hard to say right now, man.
Okay.
It's kind of a toss-up. Yeah.
I would say Seattle has more of a chance than the Cardinals. The Cardinals' defense doesn't look nearly as good, and Mike McDonald has that defense of the Seahawks playing really well. And Geno is I'm still waiting for an expiration date for Geno, but he keeps proving me wrong. Let's see what happens. All right. Let's move on to Thursday Night Football. Your Falcons against the Bucks, playing in Atlanta, I believe. What are your thoughts on this game? Who wins? Your thoughts?
Man, this is gonna be a tight one across the board, man. Baker Mayfield has really, really outdone himself, man. When you look at his numbers on the season, he's went 91 for 129. He's thrown for over 900 yards, thrown for 8 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Kirk Cousins, 77 for 119. He's thrown for over 800 yards, 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Man, overall, the Titans are more complete than the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons are a decent team. I'm not counting them out. The Falcons won Sunday. Thank God for the kicker, Koo, 58-yard field goal. It's gonna be a tight, close game.
Well, the spread is 1.5, so they're saying it's a pretty tight game.
If Atlanta comes out playing on their A game, they'll win. I'm gonna go 27-24. The Falcons edge just like last week by a field goal. Wow. It's gonna be a close game, man. Because the Buccaneers have been whooping people. They whooped the Eagles. They've been really, and they got the Eagles number. Every time they played the Eagles in the last 2 or 3 years, they've beaten them.
Who?
Buccaneers.
Oh, okay. The Eagles?
They've been playoffs too. They've been playoffs.
Okay, that's fair.
So,
okay.
If Atlanta
so you
wins,
like your Falcons by 3?
By 3. It's gonna be a tight game like last week, man. No blowout net like that crazy.
Okay. All right. Who do you like in this matchup?
Well, how about this? I have to go because my Mets are playing. Also, programming alert. I will try to be on as much as possible over the next week, but I will be going out of the country on travel. So Sunday and Tuesday next week will be iffy for me, but I will try my best. That being said, I had the same exact score as Ken, which is why I was saying, wow. Wow. So, but I don't think we should. So I'm going to go 24-21 Falcons. And before I get out of here, let me hit you with the rest of my picks, and y'all can keep on. Raiders over the sorry-ass Broncos all day. I tell you, Jake, I wish you were here. We're going to whoop that butt. It says 2.5.
I hope he shows up if you do that.
And the points, we're going to win by 10. And if I can show up, I hope I can. I'm going to have maybe a little bit of time on the road before I go on the plane out of country.
Okay,
I may be able to come.
If you can show up, we'll go straight to that game. Whenever you show up, we'll go straight to that game.
All right.
No matter
Cowboys over the Steelers. No doubt about it. I think the Cowboys get back on track. Jets and Vikings, I just told you. Panthers, Bears, I'm not talking about it. Ravens, Bengals. That's actually going to be a good game. I got the Ravens continuing their winning streak and the Bengals continuing to have a bad season. But they started off like 4. I know.
If they go 1-4, are they done? Are they done?
No, I don't know. I don't know.
I'm just saying.
It's hard to say because they have such good personnel. You never want to say that they're out.
1-4?
1-5? Yeah, that's hard. That's hard.
Bad.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it more next week if we can. Browns and Commanders, I don't care. Colts and Jaguars, I don't care. Bills and Texans, that's going to be a really good game.
That's going to be a good one.
At home, I'll take the Texans just because they're at home.
At home.
49ers, Cardinals. 49ers are injured. It could be a toss-up. Don't care. Packers, Rams. Jordan Love is back. Take the Packers. Giants and Seahawks. Seahawks at home. I don't really care. Chiefs and Saints. Look, this is a tough one. The Chiefs are really, really injured, but the Saints have fallen back to earth. Both teams have good offenses, win at their best. The game is at Arrowhead. Take Kansas City. I don't know if I would take the points because it's 5.5, but definitely take Kansas City. And last but not least, because I know you were going to ask, and I don't want to leave the show or leave you two esteemed gentlemen and my colleagues for a long time here on the Bottom Line Sports. Make sure you subscribe at the Bottom Line Sports. Join our awesome Facebook group, and you will hear things like the awesome things that I spit out of my mouth. That's why they call me the professor. Davonte Adams is gone. 2nd round pick, nearest bidder, doesn't matter. Probably the Cowboys, the Jets, the Saints, any of the normal people you think he may go to. Raiders, you screwed this up. We've been doing this song and dance for 20 years now. Never should have traded for him in the first place. You bunch of idiots. It all goes back to you, Josh McDumbo and Dave Ziegelhofer. I'm so glad you got fired. You New England scams. You New England cheaters. The Shady Brady and Bill Belichick. Screw you all.
All right, Sports Professor. Check them out also on Ball and Bud, Sports Entertainment. So you still think you win even if Davonte doesn't play or gets traded? You're still picking
Win
Raiders
what?
to beat.
Oh yeah, we'll beat them this weekend with my arm tied behind my back as the quarterback.
Okay.
I'll go out.
I
and
hope
beat Bo
so.
Nix.
I hope so. All right,
All
Sports
in
Professor, thanks for coming on. We'll see you hopefully Sunday, Surge. Peace out, Sports
Yes, sir,
Professor. Professor. All right, Sports Professor, thanks a lot. All right, let me go back because he had to run through all those games, but Bucks and Falcons, that will be a good game, man.
It's gonna be tight, man.
I took your Falcons last week, and I took the Bucks also. So this is a tough one. I'm gonna say the Bucks pull it out. I'm gonna say the Bucks end up winning this game in a close one. What does the rest of your schedule look like, Cam? Let me see. Who do you got next?
Right.
And then you got Carolina, Seattle, and then you got
no. Here we go. We got Tampa. Then we go to Carolina the following Sunday. Then we got Seattle at home. Then we got the Buccaneers on the road. Then we got Dallas on the third. We got Dallas.
Yeah, you really can't afford to lose this game, but you do have Carolina, who you should beat. Seattle, that'll be a tough out.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
It's a winnable game. And then you got Tampa Bay. To be fair, in Tampa, you need to win this game because you're going to go to Tampa next time. And then you got Dallas, New Orleans, who's frisky. And then you got Denver, which you should win that one. And then Charger, man, you got a decently tough schedule. I mean, these next few games, apart from Carolina, it's a pretty tough schedule. You need this game. I'm going to be rooting for the Falcons, but I think that the Bucks edge you out, man. I'm sorry. Yeah. So let's look at a couple of games of these good games. So we talked about the Jets and the Vikings. The Vikings 4-0, Jets 2-2, and you said that was in London. Who do you like there, Ken?
Man, I definitely got to go with it. I think Sam Darnold's still gonna be riding that high, man.
Okay.
Because if you look at Darnold's numbers, let me hit them real quick. 73 out of 106. He's thrown for 900 yards, 11 touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers 82 for 128. He's thrown for 850 yards, 5 TDs, 1 interception. I think, man, Minnesota's offense is very, very, very high powered, man. It's very high powered. But I will caveat on this: the Jets are due for a win because the Jets should have beat Denver last week. They should have beat Denver last week.
So you say they're due?
They'll be hungry as well, man.
Okay. On this one, this is a tough one. Like you said, I think that's a good point, Ken. That the Jets are due. They should have won last week, right?
Should have won. Then we could have humbled Jay because he was talking some like Jay.
Oh yeah, he was talking some smack last time. I'm telling you. Yeah, but they like you said, they should have won that game. Man, let me see. The only thing that scares me is Sam Darnold because he's on serious pumpkin watch. I mean, that guy can turn back into a pumpkin at any time. Just based on his career, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but to be fair, man, you know what? I think the Vikings pull this game out, and then they start sounding the alarms with the Jets.
Yeah.
And I think they pull one. I think he's got one more good game in him, and I think the Vikings defense is going to keep them in this game.
Okay.
And I think that the Vikings pull this game out, but you start to see chinks in the Sam Darnold armor, and I think he starts to decline. You see, he might throw a pick. He won't look quite as good. Last game, was it against? Was it Green Bay? They played Green Bay last game.
Who's that?
The Vikings. Is that the last game?
Pull the Vikings. I think they did play Green Bay, man. Matter of fact. I believe it was it Green Bay? Yeah, it was. It was Green Bay because Green Bay was, I think, Green Bay.
Yeah, they were down big, right? They came back and almost won. So yeah. He only had 275 yards. He had one pick already in that game. He had 3 touchdowns. The game before, he had 4 touchdowns, no pick. But he only had 181 yards. So his completion percentage has gone down a bit, but he did complete 71%. I think you start to see a little bit of chinks in Sam Darnold, but I think that the defense keeps him in the game, makes a couple of turnovers, and that's why I think they win that game. All right, the Ravens and Bengals. That's a good game. What do you think there? The Bengals. Is this a must win for the Bengals? I mean, wow, 1-3.
Man.
The only team they've beaten is Carolina. I mean, not good.
And Carolina was playing with Andy Dalton. And Carolina almost made a run and made a comeback. Here's the thing, man. I'm going Baltimore.
Burrow has looked good the last couple games. He looked really good.
I'm going Baltimore. I'm going Baltimore.
Wow.
Baltimore on the road.
Okay.
Baltimore on the road in a close game. Because here's what's gonna happen for the Bengals, man.
Okay.
The Bengals will get a break next week. They'll play the Giants on Sunday Night Football next week. They'll catch a break then, and then they got the Browns. They'll probably beat the Browns and the Eagles and the Raiders, and then they'll play the Bengals. They'll play the Ravens again on Thursday Night Football, I believe, man. So here's my whole forte flow. They will not win Sunday. I'll take the Ravens by 6 on Sunday. I'm gonna go 21-27. The Ravens will beat them on the road, man.
Okay. I'm gonna go. I think the Ravens probably should win this game. I'm gonna go Bengals because I think the Bengals are desperate. Burrow has looked good, even though in the losses. And I think the Ravens kind of are on the high. I don't know what it is about the Ravens. Every time they're up, they always have a bad game. I don't know. It's like a weird. It's almost like Josh Allen's game. You know, he's always up and down as a quarterback. Yeah. As a team, the Ravens always seem to be up and down. I think they're going to struggle in this game, and I think the Bengals end up pulling it out. It might be a fairly high-scoring game.
Yeah,
because the Bengals desperately need this game. I mean, that's what I said about them before the Carolina game. But I think that they will pull this one out at home, and they kind of get them back on track because that would put them both at 2-3 with the Ravens. So the Bengals get kind of back on track, and then people start kind of believing in them again. All right, the Bills and the Texans 3-1, both of those good games. Bills coming off a big loss, and the Texans have not looked good. And remember, I said they might have a CJ sophomore slump, and he has not looked great. Man. I mean, he's played okay. He hasn't played horribly, but he has kind of stepped back just a bit. What do you got here?
This is a must-win for the Bills, man.
Okay.
The Bills need this win more than anything. I mean, after getting beat down, getting beat down on the road at Baltimore, they're gonna need this game and some momentum going into next Monday night, the 14th, when they play the Jets on the road at MetLife. Man, I'm gonna go. Man, I'm gonna jump the gun on this one, man. I'm gonna say Bills by 10 on the road, bro.
Ooh, Bills by 10. Okay, wow.
I'm gonna go 34. I'm gonna go 34-24 Bills.
Oh wow. Okay.
On the road.
Yeah. Okay, on the road.
And the reason I'm saying this is, man, I think Josh Allen, he carries the bulk of that offense on his back. Their defense is great. I mean, they're gonna have a big hole missing. You know that I forgot to mention.
They did look great last week, though.
I forgot to mention that Von Miller got suspended for 4 games, man. A personal conduct thing. He was a domestic violence.
But I mean, to be fair, he wasn't contributing a whole lot. He a little bit, but he wasn't
just a little bit
dominating
as much.
He wasn't dominating, so okay.
But I like the Bills on the road, man. I think the Bills will humble both teams. The Bills will be 4-1, and then that'll put the Houston at 3-2. Not a bad record for Houston, because Houston will still be the front runner for the AFC South because the Jags are 0-4. I think Tennessee's like 1-3, and then Indianapolis should be
they're 2-2.
They're 2-2, and then
they play the Jaguars, so they might be 3-2.
Yeah. So they'll be 3-2. So it won't be a bad loss for Houston.
Right.
Houston can take the break off a little bit, but I think the Bills are going to count down pretty good, man.
Yeah, I feel you. I think the Bills really need this game after the way they lost to the Ravens. And typically, if you look at historically NFL teams, if they have a bad and get blown out pretty bad, they have a lot better week coming back because they're ready to get that taste out of their mouth. And I think you're right. The Bills have a much better game plan. It's going to be a tough game because it's in Houston, but I think the Bills pull it out with a little closer game. I'm going to go maybe like a 4-point game that the Bills win this game. These aren't my official picks because I got to do those on Flo's favorites. on our sports
Hey,
page.
Hey, I almost had you, didn't we?
You almost had me last week. I was 11-6. You were 10-7. Yeah. You almost had me last week. But so that's not my official pick. I'm leaning Bills really strongly right now. These are my unofficial official picks. So yeah, I think the Bills. I think you're right about the Bills. They really need this
Bills
game.
Got to make a statement.
So they got to make a statement. They got to keep up with the Chiefs. And I think I agree kind of with Jake. They got to keep up with the Chiefs. So hopefully maybe get that number 1 slot. Maybe still in play if they continue to win. All right, so. You want to do Raiders Broncos because that's the two of our hosts.
I mean, we can roll Raiders Broncos.
Do it real quick. Raiders Broncos is because Broncos is Jake's team and the Raiders is the sports professor's team.
Listen.
I mean, obviously Omar wants the Raiders and believes in the Raiders because he hates the Broncos. And so,
all right, Flo.
What do you got here?
Look at these guys, man. Both teams are 2-2. Raiders in 4th place. Broncos in 3rd place. Chiefs are winning their division hands down 4-0.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go against the Guns this week, man. I'm gonna go against the Guns this week. This will not be a blowout game. This will be a close game. It'll probably resemble that same game that the Jets and the Broncos played on Sunday when the Jets
ugly game.
The ugly chip shot, man. I'm gonna go 30-27.
Ooh,
the 30-27.
Scoring. Like should it be like the Jets, Broncos will bring in.
Yeah. No. I mean, as far as the play, 27-30. Denver wins by a chip shot field at the end.
27-30. Wow.
Chip shot field goal at the end.
Hey, I'm gonna be rooting for the Raiders. I think they're getting the whole Davonte Adams thing is gonna get in the way. I think that's a bad narrative for them. And I don't think he's gonna play. I think Adam said something about a hamstring. Who knows if that's a real injury, if it's really a hamstring? I don't know. Trade talks. I don't think he's gonna play. That's their best receiver. The Broncos have a pretty good defense. I think this will be an uglier game. I think it'll be a lot like the Jets Broncos game. This is gonna be an ugly field goal fest. I think it's gonna be some weird. It's gonna be like 15-12 or something weird like that. That's what I think. And the Broncos gonna pull it out, and Jake's gonna have another, woohoo, and to be fair, Bo Nix might have another 60-70 yards in the game again.
Hey, so who you predict?
I'm saying Broncos 15-12 right now. I mean, because I just think the Raiders don't have enough firepower, and that defense is good. They need Davonte Adams to play, and if he's not going to play, that's going to be tough for them to score. I think, to be honest, especially on the road. I'm going to be rooting for the Raiders, though. But if I'm wrong, I'll be happy. Still, I'll be really happy. But right now, I'm leaning Broncos. All right, what do you got? Let's do a couple more games, Scan, and then we'll finish up. We got. Which one's Sunday Night Football? Cowboys and Steelers is Sunday Night Football, so we won't do that one until Sunday. Let's go with Packers and Rams, and then we'll go Cardinals. Or let's do Cardinals, 49ers, and Packers, Rams, then we can wrap it up. Cardinals and 49ers. Who you like there? They're in San Francisco. 49ers are 7-point favorites at this point. Yeah. You like?
I'm going against the grain on this one right here too, man.
Ooh.
The Cardinals have looked really, really decent.
Right.
The Cardinals have looked decent, man. And there's nothing that can change my mind about the Cardinals. I want to take a look at one or two things real quick before I make a decision, man. When I look at the Cardinals, man, they got pounded by the Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
They got pounded by the Rams.
No, they beat the Rams. They beat the Rams. They
blew the Rams out. They barely lost to the Bills.
Right.
They barely lost to the doggone Lions.
Right.
This is a division game.
Yeah, who are they really? And it's hard to tell who the Cardinals are.
It's hard to tell who they are. And here's the thing, man. Here's the thing, Flo. They're gonna split. They're gonna split. It's gonna be a split. It's gonna be a split, man. It's gonna be a split, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 2023. 2023.
20-23. Who?
I'm gonna go Cardinals on the road.
23-20. Cardinals.
23-20. Cardinals on the road.
Okay.
This game is gonna split between both of those teams either way.
Okay. So they
The
beat
same
them on
thing gonna
the
happen
road.
between when they play Seattle because their division gonna split each other, man.
Right. Okay.
I like 23-20.
Okay, that's fair. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you, Canteen. I mean, I think, like I said about the Bills earlier, they were embarrassed a little bit. The Cardinals were, the way they lost the last game. And I think they're going to come back. And like I said, they want to get that taste out of their mouth. Most teams, that's just historically, when they get blown out like that or they get beat up pretty bad, they come back and have a really much better game. I think the Cardinals will play a better game. I don't like their defense, but I don't know. The 49ers are still a little banged up. I don't think Caffrey's coming back still, and I think Debo's coming back. But Ayuk, I mean, he's been MIA. Where's Ayuk? I haven't seen him. I mean, he's been in the game, but I haven't seen him do anything. So
he ain't did much.
Yeah, so I agree with you. I think it'll be a close game. I think the Cardinals kind of bounce back. I'm gonna go similar score to you. I'm gonna say something like 24-20. 24-20. The Cardinals pull it out on the road after being embarrassed in the last game against the Commanders. All right, here we go. Let's go. Last game here on the docket. Packers at the Rams. Packers. Jordan Love came back. We're getting blown away by the Vikings, but made a good furious comeback, but didn't quite. They fell short. Also, the Rams have been banged up. I think they get a couple people back. I'm not sure. I'll have to look at the report, and I'll give you some stats on that. But who do you like here? The Rams, had a tough game, and have had a tough season, with a lot of injuries. And of course, the Packers did have a big injury with Jordan Love, but he's back now. They had a close loss to Houston. Who was it? Was it Houston? No. Chicago. They had a close loss to Chicago, 24-18. They had a big win against San Francisco the week before. They get blown out by Arizona. So it's hard to tell who this team is as well as far as the Rams. And then, of course, the San Francisco 49ers have been kind of banged up this year, or the Packers getting Jordan Love have been a little bit banged up, but they still played pretty well without him. What do you like here?
Man, this game here, Flo.
Yeah.
This is going to be a tight one, too, man.
Yeah.
But
getting in the thick of the season.
I got to go Green Bay.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And this probably my shootout game, my shooting match game right here, man.
Oh, okay.
Matt Stafford hadn't looked his best. Their offense, their defense hadn't looked his best. After what's name retired from the defense, they haven't really been performing or playing their best football, man.
Right.
I got a lot of respect for Stafford. I got a lot of respect for Sean McVay, right? McVay's the head coach out there. Yeah, man. They haven't performed exceptional.
They're banged up. They're missing, Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. I mean, they're both out, And I think even Demarcus Robinson's banged up. So they've been missing a lot of their offensive weapons.
Man, I'm going to go 34-10. Green Bay.
Wow. And kind of a blowout.
Green Bay going to blow them out.
34-10. Man. Right now, I'm leaning Green Bay just because they looked pretty good against what I think is a really good team right now. Besides, I think Donald's going to expire as far as a quarterback, but it just won't happen quite yet. But their defense is really good, and the Packers were able to come back, make a fierce comeback. And just because the Rams are really banged up, they don't have Puka Nacua, no Cooper Kupp. I mean, on offense, they struggle, but oh man, this is a tough one for me. I think the Rams might win this, but I think it'll be close though. Since it's on the road, we'll see how Jordan Love looks in the second game. He didn't look too good. He did knock out some of the rust, and then made a comeback and almost beat the Vikings. I'm going to go Packers too. I think it's going to be a little closer. I think the Rams put up a good fight. It's going to be sad to see them go 1-4. That was my team to win. What is it? Is it the NFC West? I don't remember.
Who's that?
The Rams. NFC West. Yeah. I thought the Rams were going to win the NFC West, but they've been really banged up this year. So if they lose this game, man, it doesn't look good for them. I think they might pull it out, but I'm going to say Packers they look pretty good. Jordan coming back, and the way the Rams are just banged up, I think they'll win this game. I think it'll be fairly close. I think it'll be something like, I'm going to go 21, 22, 34, 27 to 20. 27-20. I think the Rams are just too banged up on offense and not going to be able to keep up with the Packers. All right. That's it. Let us know, you guys, what you guys think about who's going to win. 34 on the live right now. 34 people on the live. Appreciate you guys watching. Please hit that like, subscribe. Come watch us on Facebook. We have 1.9K followers or members on the Facebook group at The Bottom Line Sports. And we also have a YouTube channel, The Bottom Line Sports channel. We don't have as many followers there, but come follow us over there. Help us out on YouTube. A lot of people on X right now watching. Appreciate everybody on X watching us right now. Come make some comments. I don't know X make comments on X, but you can definitely make comments on.
We forgot a game, man. We forgot the Sunday night game. Sunday night.
Yeah, we're not going to do that till Sunday.
That's right.
Yeah, that's Cowboys Steelers. We'll do it on Sunday, yeah, because it's a Sunday night game. So, but yeah, we'll talk about that game on Sunday night. On the Sunday Surge. Anyway, yeah, we'll talk about that Sunday Surge on Let's Talk Sports. Check us out on Let's Talk Sports Network on YouTube, also on X, also on Twitch, I believe. Check us out on those 3 platforms on where our crew goes to Let's Talk Sports Network to do a NFL recap show over there on Let's Talk Sports Network. They got about 2,700K on YouTube. Go check them out. Check out our YouTube as well at The Bottom Line Sports. So appreciate everybody.
One more thing to caveat on, man. I think something spectacular is going to happen, man. I hope that Davonte Adams ends up in with the Jets, man. Or
Davonte Adams. Okay.
Jets, Saints, Cowboys potentially.
I'm hoping and praying Jerry goes all in and goes and gets Davonte Adams. We really need him over there. I think that would be a big boost for us. Just because we had a lot of injuries on defense. We lost Mike Parsons for a few weeks. We lost D-Law we need a lot of help on defense. You know what, Ken? I was saying the other day, and I'll bring this up on Sunday, but just real good, since we're not doing it on our show, I think having Micah out might help our defense. Not focus so much on Micah, having him do as much. I think we play more as a team, and we end up playing slightly better, because we're not trying to let Micah go out there and win the game for us on defense. I think we end up coming together a little bit as defense. I think that'll help us a little bit. We'll see what happens. Let us know what you think. Go follow us at The Bottom Line Sports on Facebook, Twitch, X, and also on YouTube. And go check us out Sunday night, Sunday Surge, NFL recap show on Let's Talk Sports Network. Thanks for watching. I'm close. That's Ken over there.
Hey, Flo, hey, great run, bro. Hey, we did our thing. Hey, Jake, there was an APB out on Jake Montoya.
APB, sound the alarm.
Man. We looking for the
sound on the alarm. We're looking for Jake Montoya. All right, we'll see you next time. If you want to hang out, I'll be back there for a little bit.
I'll be waiting for you, bro.
All right, we'll see you in a minute at The Bottom Line Sports. Peace.
All right.
I don't play. I'm just going to play from over here. See you next time.